Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to another episode of Funday Sunday. And yeah, I know, we're in another battle with the Tier 9 British light cruiser, the Neptune. And I have to say, I do show this ship off a lot. I actually am kind of curious how many videos I made of this ship. I love this ship. It's by far my best ship in the game. As you can see, we're playing a tier 9. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Carrier in the battle. This carrier, this Kaga, is something special. You'll see. You'll see what I mean as the game progresses. I'm joined with Stick in the black and Ski Ball in the Alsace. Actually, Ski just recently got the Alsace, and he really does love this ship. Or love his ship, not my ship. My ship, I love my ship. Which actually makes me kind of curious. What is your guys' favorite ships in the game? Like a ship that you go and play a lot. Like the Neptune is my favorite. Apparently, I have 218 battles in the game with a 72% win rate. With a PR of 2,487. Like it's my apparently go-to ship. I love the ship. It's a fantastic ship. It gets a lot of shit on, excuse the language, but it does, because it's fragile. Like it's just downright fragile. It obviously has that very high citadel, which does obviously mean it can be easily citadeled. Even in the smoke screen, just a random shot can actually mean a citadel. You'll see it happen. I mean, it's not immune. You do have to be careful how you're playing the ship. You don't always want to be sitting broadside. I generally, whenever I play the ship, I generally angle and try to keep myself from being easily citadeled, but it can happen all the same. So, yeah, I'm actually kind of curious. What is your ship that you go and play that you're just really good at? I know a good friend of mine who's really fantastic at the Atlanta, albeit he hasn't played in a couple years, but he used to be really good at the Atlanta, and that was kind of his all-around ship that he would definitely enjoy. But anyway, Neptune gets a lot of crap on, and I kind of agree. It's can be a tough ship to play because of its fragility, but if played correctly, it can be a very powerful ship. Its AA is fantastic. Its gun reload is really good. It's not as good as obviously the Minotaur. And also, it doesn't have HE, so against bow end targets, it's going to struggle a bit more. That's for sure. But against destroyers, cruisers, and even battleships, it does a really fantastic job. It can just definitely eat up a lot of damage against battleships. And its torpedoes are not a slouch either. They're 10 kilometers. You can't stealth torp, which is unfortunate, but I mean, you do have 8 torpedoes per side, which makes it very, very strong. But it's definitely not an open gunboat type of ship, so it can be a little fragile. As you saw there, Georgia opens up on us, and there's literally nothing you can do. The only thing you can do is heal, which is what the ship is kind of good at. It's good at. As long as you survive, you can most definitely heal off a large chunk of that damage, which is really beneficial. So yes, as you can see, this current battle, things aren't looking particularly hot for us. And we get a couple torpedo hits on the Georgia, get a flooding, but that's obviously the downside is you can't cause any fires unless you get close enough with your secondaries. But at the moment, our team is currently down a ship. We're actually the only... I was going to say we're the only team that has a cap. Our team is the only ones that have a cap. The enemy team actually haven't captured anything. But you'll see how this battle progresses, and I will have to say, you get those matches where you get teammates that are a little special, to say the very least. But we'll see how this battle progresses. Now, obviously, having a black on your team is really beneficial because the black does have that radar. I actually don't own the black. I don't think I'm ever going to own the black. I'm not a big fan of USN destroyers. Not bad ships, by any stretch of the imagination. They're not. They're just not my cup of tea, I guess is probably the best way to say it. But as you can see, this Kaga on the enemy team really likes this side, this A side. Now, unfortunately for us, we're losing our only cap. Actually, no, we actually do manage to have C. Now, look how many ships are currently at C. I think there's actually about 4. Is that 4 ships down there? Versus, what, 3, maybe 4 ships. There's a Fletcher. So you would think we'd be fine down there. Now, unfortunately, Stick there is running RPF and is alerting me of where the whereabouts of this Akizuki. That Akizuki makes an interesting play. Now, I do run the smoke in the Neptune. I have run the radar. I mean, the radar's nice, especially in the rank sprint, I think, was it? Or actually, no, it was a full-on rank where they had tier 9s and had those upgrades. A radar Neptune is very strong against destroyer meta. Is generally what occurs in rank. So definitely loved my radar Neptune. But obviously, once again, in randoms, it's a little bit less so because it's so extraordinarily fragile that it can easily be one shot by a lot of battleships. And right here, there's North Carolina firing blind into the smoke, and fortunately actually misses us. Pretty certain there is a moment in this battle where there's just a random shot of AP that's shot into the smoke and gets my Citadel. Which I understand, because you come from the Edinburgh, and the Edinburgh actually has a below water Citadel. Now that Akizuki that just went down, he reversed back from behind the island and just kind of sat there and was taken out, fortunately, by Stick, which does give us a little bit of a buffer, but we are starting to lose a few of our ships. We just lost our Georgia, which is really unfortunate because the enemy Georgia is still quite alive and still kind of hanging out. Now, once again, this Kaga, its ability to really just essentially kamikaze its planes, because it just has so much planes that I can just do this with impunity. Kaga, I just don't understand. It loses so many aircrafts in this battle. I think it's this salvo. Is it the salvo that actually does net us? Yep, right there. Random Citadel right through the stern of the ship. Now, as you can see, we're actually getting good damage. This is the thing about British light cruisers. Their semi armor piercing rounds is really fantastic against lightly armored targets. And against battleships, the only way you can really deal damage is chunking them on their superstructure. So German BBs, American BBs, if you can get their superstructure, you can really do a huge chunk of damage very, very quickly. And as you can see, I'm being cautious. I'm using the islands to my advantage. The rounds on British light cruisers, they're very floaty, so you can get them easily up over the island and still land shots. So it does take a little bit of work. Your rounds are a little floaty, as I did mention, so it does require a bit of a lead, but once you get that down, overall you can generally land your shots with relative ease. But as you can see, our team is losing ships left and right. Everyone at sea have almost died. I think there's only a Massachusetts left with the Turpits, facing off against the Turpits. And all that's left on our team is the Otago, Black, the Shikaku, Massachusetts, and myself. And instantly I focus on the Kitakaze. And once again, kind of a nice thing about British light cruisers is they're very good against destroyers. Very good. They can deal huge chunk of damage very, very quickly. Obviously, the rounds on the Neptune don't fire as quickly as the Minotaur, but they're still fairly quick. I do run AR on my Neptune captain. I believe this captain's almost a 19-point captain. If not, it is. So once you get AR, and I would almost recommend spec a little bit into AFT just to buff your AA a bit more, because even though that the AA has been nerfed to essentially hell and back, having that additional AFT does increase your range as well as your DPM. And the Neptunes, actually most of the British cruisers, AA is really good against carriers, so would recommend at least buffing it just a little bit, just to make it a little bit more reliable. Now, fortunately for us, our team have managed to hold A and C for some time now. We've actually have a little bit of a buffer that has kept us ahead in points. The enemy team only has 240. The only reason they're not knocked out is the fact that they did manage to keep ahead in kills. That's the only reason they're still in this game. Now, unfortunately for us, as you can see, Stick right there is extraordinarily low on health. 217 points of health. Our Otago also very low in health, and they still have a Musashi, a Georgia, a North Carolina, and a Kaga. Now, fortunately for us, Kaga really hasn't been too much of a threat. Oh yes, they do have a ARP to Cal, which is the semi-nerfed Otago. It's essentially an Otago, but just isn't as stealthy as obviously the Otago is. But that's actually something else that they desperately just need to give, is the ARP ships. They need to give them the same detect as their counterparts on the main and premium line, because it kind of sucks. Actually, I think it's right here. Let's see. Once again, don't show broadside when sitting in smoke. It's more likely you'll actually get citadel. Fortunately, our Otago does take out the Takao. And here's also one really fantastic tip when facing off against other cruisers. When you're in a British light cruiser, go bow in. You can't imagine how many times I've been shot at by AP by cruisers because they see instantly a British light cruiser, they think automatically AP. All you have to do is just turn bow in, and you essentially negate any potential damage that they can do to you. So it's really, really amusing. I've had so many opportunities where they do that, and they'll just continue shooting AP. That's the thing, they continue shooting AP, just hoping that I'll turn broadside, show my citadel. And all you have to do is just stay bow in and you're fine. And as you can see, the Kaga, I mean, granted, is coming after us. But you can just see how much of the planes we're shooting down. We're already up at 20. Not the highest amount of planes I've shot down, but it's just it's crazy how much damage you can do to planes. Now, obviously, Neptune, not a ship you really want to be playing in open water, especially with the Musashi going after you. But obviously, I'm being cautious. I'm keeping my distance. I'm actually kiting away, which is what you can definitely do when playing this ship. And look at this Kaga just constantly coming after me, and it's actually for a very good reason. This Kaga is surprisingly very, very close. And weirdly enough, dropping torpedoes so far away that I actually have to use Hydro, and I can spot them and easily dodge them. But the enemy team hasn't really done anything. That's essentially going to be it. They're going to lose on points. Not much they can do. But yeah, just a quick look at the Neptune, one of my most favorite ships in the game. Please let me know what you guys think of the Neptune. Maybe even tell me what your guys' favorite ship is to play. And that's going to be it for this battle. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijian.